could have one hit song, I know it'd solve everything for me.
It shall be done.
We are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. You ever wonder what Satan would look like if he was obese? Absolutely grotesque. And of course, as we all find out, sponsored by Pfizer. It's too perfect. Oh man, I mean, it just, sometimes the memes, they just write themselves. Sometimes God's just a little bit too on the nose with central casting. Sponsored by Pfizer. Too on the nose with central casting. Clown World, what the F is this? Why am I sharing this tweet? Well, you've already seen this little grotesque performance. What you haven't seen possibly is that Elon Musk commented. Elon Musk, the most powerful, richest man in the world, clearly still has a soul. End of days vibes, Elon Musk says in this tweet, commenting furthermore after, if that's Satan, we have nothing to worry about. Kind of lame vibes, Elon Musk was responding to. Unpopular take. This is kind of lame. If that's Satan, we have nothing to worry about. Not the first time that Elon Musk has hopped in and used Satanism as an example of something that's evil. Elon Musk lambasted Satanic, ESG, as World Economic Forum meets in Davos. Musk once said that environmental social governance was a scam weaponized by social justice warriors when the Davos meeting of lizard people were happening last month. Elon Musk said the S in ESG stands for Satanic in response to Michael Schellenberger's reporting on what ESG was and how it is being pushed by globalists to tax you into poverty because the sun is hot. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, something that was not hot is a bad guy from Saw, also somehow known as a pop artist Madonna, making the lamest joke ever.
You are definitely onto something. That's where you make noise. You're thinking. So.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Talk about something dangerous. The amount of Pfizer adoptions into sponsorships for literally everything in society. It's a little curious, Pfizer making a profit of like $100 billion. How's that feel, taxpayers? You paid for all of those unused vaccines. So Pfizer is using that money to sponsor literally everything, and by the media that would otherwise possibly criticize them. As we have said many times over, where are my leftist homies? Where are you guys at? Just a couple of years ago, you were the ones screaming that you were against big pharma, that you were against big tech, that you were against big business, that you were against the evil of big corporations and multinational corporations and globalists. What the hell happened? Your balls fall off, as the Joker would say? Yeah, well, even the Joker, Heath Ledger, is a little less satanic than what happened at the Grammys. We talked about a little in depth on the show and why this matters. This isn't just the old, church lady screaming kind of thing. I think this stuff really does matter, and there is a tie-in. Quite frankly, there's a reason why the left is embracing Satanism and is embracing globalism, and they're connected. Actually, they're connected. And it all ends at the same road. Fascism. Joe Biden's a big advocate for it. Sam Smith would love to control your life and wants to make sure that your life is miserable as his is, obviously. And we talked about all of it, unpacking it on yesterday's show. I think it would be important for you to also hear that. Go. The reason they do this is quite plainly laid out. In humanism, they worship themselves. They worship the system of government, Marxism, that does away with the church. The first chapter of Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto says we will fight capitalism and we'll fight the church. The church organizes society to look to a creator, to look to a God, to look to universal truths like all men are created equal, and to better themselves. And these godless Marxists look to not God, but to themselves for rulership. And we're going to see a lot of that tonight in Joe Biden's State of the Union. In fact, that's how Joe Biden organizes his own life. What is best for me right now? My country be damned. My family be damned. Go read Ashley Biden's diary, baby. Shower time. Everything is about him. Doesn't matter. Like, he stole another man's wife. You know that, right? You know, like Joe Biden was like cheating on his wife with Jill Biden. Jill Biden was cheating on her husband. Like that's been laid out by Joe Biden's ex-husband. Like, these are real things. These are selfish people. And that is kind of the nature of selfishness, all the way back to the original Adam and Eve story, right? The original Adam and Eve story is you can make a decision better than God can. You can structure your life better than God can. Bright, shiny apple, eat it, baby. It's the one thing you're not allowed to do. Well, God doesn't know anything. It's just, you see, like, the moral of the story is like, it's always about self. It's always about selfishness and depriving others around you of any type of goodness or goodwill, nature or forgiveness, because all of those things don't matter. And the Communist Manifesto kind of lays it out really perfectly. There's a lot of other philosophical writings that sort of lay out what Satanism is. But as you watch this culture metastasize, as you watch this culture become more and more degenerate and debased, and you see actual Satan worshiping on stage, as we saw, it's important to sort of put that in stark relief as to what they want. What they want is a world without God. That's what communists wanted. But there is no world without God. That's what's wild about communism and about communist societies. In fact, if you allow all men and women to go back to their basest animal instincts, then what you get is a world that actually requires slaves and a master. They simply replace God with the state. And that's what happens under communism. There's a connection here. There's always a connection. The people who run the entertainment industry are universally and centrally organized with the plan. Marxists are central organizers. There is a plan that they have, and it's not a good one. And so that's what happens inside of communism. They say that that's liberty. They say that that's freedom, to have an absolutely oppressive, brutalist state that hovers above you, and that state replaces God. Karl Marx lays it out perfectly. And so everyone's selfishness becomes their downfall. And then that means lies replace truth. And all of the prospering and flourishing that happens inside of a Judeo-Christian organized society, where the individual and individual liberties are organized in a manner in which you are not allowed to hurt other people, and you shouldn't do that. You are allowed to live freely and you're allowed to prosper freely, but you must have a set code of morality that we all agree upon. The Satanist wants to eliminate that entirely. And so does the communist. They are one. And so that, like, ladies and gentlemen, this is what they are aiming toward. And this is why that's going viral, why we've talked about it, and why we're taking a moment to start our show in order to sort of put a pin in it, because you'll hear the same things echoed through Joe Biden's State of the Union tonight. He won't be wearing red devil horns or red skin-tight leather, thank God. We don't think. We have no idea what the color of his Depends actually are. But he will be positing and profiteering off of a similar message, a similar hedonist message, desecrating universal truths and things that actually bind and tie and stitch societies together for his specific Joe Biden individual benefit. And that, at its very core, ladies and gentlemen, is actual Satanism. That's why Karl Marx calls it, and the last thing I'll say on this, Karl Marx calls this the end of history. This is laid out very simply and beautifully in the Communist Manifesto. And I say beautifully because the Communist Manifesto is short, and it gets right to the point. Destroy the church, destroy the family, destroy capitalism. And these people are following it to the letter. It is a Satanist doctrine that replaces God with man. And it is the doctrine for people, bloodthirsty people like Joe Biden, who wish to do exactly that. Why do you think Joe Biden goes against his church's teaching? Because he actually doesn't believe any of that. Why do you think Joe Biden stands thwart his own pope as the old Irish Catholic, because he doesn't believe in all that. Joe Biden believes in Joe Biden. And that's Satanist thinking. It's demonic thinking. And that's why it's important to talk about, because it helps you understand how these people organize their lives and their thinking. The end of history is about destroying everything that came before this exact moment and rewriting it. So Joe Biden wants to rewrite history. You see this in the 1619 Project. You see this when it comes to Joe Biden lying so aggressively and egregiously. Joe Biden's lies are a predicate, and the scriptures themselves state plainly that the native tongue of Satan is lying. So if you want to actually find where the cracks are, ladies and gentlemen, in our society, go ahead and check out who the predominant liars are. And so that's why we actually talk about the Grammys failing. Very good, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we talk about the Grammys failing. They had some of the lowest viewership ever, according to Breitbart. That's why this satanic display, that's what's behind it. And also, more importantly, that's why it's important for these people to declare their Satanism, because what they are doing is they're declaring a specific worldview. And Joe Biden, in his same way, is just declaring the same side of the coin, the same worldview. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good that this was the lowest watch Grammys. I think that they are losing, and that's why they're getting more bold. So, guys, what do you think? Do you think Satan is real? Do you think Satan is upset right now? Do you think Satan is losing? Do you think hell is getting desperate, and that's why they're sending out portly Sam Smith to wobble around in heels on stage? I think so. Speaking of wobbling around, Joe Biden doing the exact same thing at the State of the Union. It's good to mock these people. I'm glad that Elon Musk called them out for being satanic. End of days vibes. But Elon Musk saying, if this is Satan, we have nothing to worry about. It's good to laugh. And we like to laugh at the people who are supposedly in charge of this place. They are such fools, and it brings us great joy. So, ladies and gentlemen, laugh along with us all the time on this program. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Benny Johnson. See ya. Thank you for watching. Our channel is here to meme the libs until they cry, and then to meme them crying. Their tears, they taste just like sweet, delicious ice cream. Salty, too. We ridicule the establishment and the libs because of you. Your support keeps us going. So if you like what you saw, please punch the subscribe button, click like, and ring the little bell so that you know when we're live. Don't you want to know when we're live? And make sure that you subscribe to our email list just in case the plug gets pulled, as tends to happen. If you want to see more of our videos, click here or here. My name is Benny Johnson. Stay free, Base Patriots.